The kingdom of Nerith was a peaceful place until a darkness began to take hold. It filled the minds and hearts of its people with fear and dread. And the source of this darkness was a mysterious figure known only as the Ebon Knight. He encountered many obstacles along the way, from wild animals to treacherous terrain. Thanks to Taran's courage and determination, they had been saved from the darkness, and they could now look forward to a brighter future. But no matter how difficult the journey became, Taran kept his focus on his goal and never gave up. Finally, after weeks of travel, Taran arrived at the gates of the kingdom. He was met by a group of guards who eyed him suspiciously. Taran spoke to them and told them of his mission to save the kingdom from the Ebon Knight. The guards were skeptical at first, but eventually they allowed him to the kingdom. Taran stepped into the kingdom of Nerith, and he was immediately struck by the oppressive darkness that seemed to hang in the air. He could feel the fear and dread that had taken hold of the people. And he knew he had to act quickly. He had to find the Ebon Knight and end his reign of terror. Taran continued on his journey, traveling through the kingdom and gathering information about the Ebon Knight. The Ebon Knight lurked in the shadows, terrorizing the kingdom's people with his dark powers and wicked schemes. He eventually came across a mysterious castle, which he knew must be the Ebon Knight's stronghold. He steeled himself for the battle ahead and ventured inside the castle. What awaited Taran inside the castle was a challenge unlike any he had ever faced before. But he had to battle powerful monsters and strange creatures, as well as powerful sorcerers and the Ebon Knight himself. But despite the odds, Taran fought bravely and eventually emerged victorious. With the Ebon Knight defeated, the darkness that had taken hold of the kingdom was finally lifted. The people of Nerith rejoiced, and they thanked Taran for his courage and bravery. And then break the pyramid, brave the baron, the pet, the hag, Taran had saved the kingdom, and peace was restored. Now that the kingdom was safe, Taran set out to meet the people of Nerith. He traveled throughout the kingdom, talking to the people and learning about their culture and traditions. The people of Nerith had no choice but to seek help from outside of the kingdom, and so they sent out a call for a brave warrior to come and face the Ebon Knight. He was welcomed warmly by the people, and he was amazed at how kind and generous they were. And when he was grateful for the opportunity to get to know them and to understand their way of life. He soon realized that the kingdom of Nerith was a special place, filled with warmth and love. Taran was moved by the people's kindness and hospitality. He was proud to have been part of their story, and he vowed to never forget the people of Nerith and the lessons they had taught him. He knew that he would carry their stories with him wherever he went, and he would always remember the courage and strength of the people of Nerith. With the kingdom safe, Taran was now ready to face the Ebon Knight. He had heard the rumors about the mysterious figure, and he was determined to find out the truth. He gathered his courage and set off to confront the Ebon Knight. When Taran finally arrived at the Ebon Knight's lair, he was met with a terrifying sight. The warrior who answered the call was a young man named Taran. The Ebon Knight was a massive figure, cloaked in darkness and wearing a black armor. He was surrounded by an army of monsters, and the air was filled with an eerie silence. Taran steeled himself and stepped forward, ready to face the Ebon Knight. He raised his sword and challenged the Ebon Knight to a duel. The Ebon Knight laughed and accepted the challenge, and the two warriors began to fight. Taran fought with skill and courage, but the Ebon Knight was a powerful foe. The battle seemed to go on forever, and Taran began to tire. Just when he thought all was lost, he managed to land a lucky blow that knocked the Ebon Knight off balance. In that moment, Taran saw a glimmer of light and realized that the Ebon Knight was not what he seemed. With one swift motion, he ripped off the Ebon Knight's helmet, revealing a face he knew all too well. Taran was brave and strong. Standing before him was none other than the kingdom's former ruler, King Jackson. The king had been corrupted by dark magic and transformed into the Ebon Knight. With the truth revealed, the darkness that had been consuming the kingdom was finally lifted. The people of Nerith were free at last. Nerith, we're pal. Now that the kingdom was saved, Taran's quest was just beginning. He knew that the Ebon Knight had to be stopped, and he was determined to find out where the dark figure had come from and how to defeat him. With a newfound sense of purpose, Taran set off on his journey to find the source of the Ebon Knight's power and put an end to his reign of terror. Taran soon found himself in unfamiliar territory. He steeled himself for the battles ahead, knowing that he must face these foes in order to reach his ultimate goal. With his sword in hand, Taran fought bravely against the monsters and sorcerers, pushing them back with every swing of his blade. He was prepared to face whatever dangers and challenges lay ahead, and so he set out on his journey. He moved forward, ever closer to the Ebon Knight, determined to end the darkness that had taken hold of the kingdom. As he ventured deeper into the unknown, Taran began to uncover clues about the Ebon Knight's origin. He found ancient scrolls and artifacts that hinted at a powerful being from another realm who had come to this kingdom in search of power and domination. He also discovered that the Ebon Knight had been gathering followers and building an army. During launch a full-scale assault on the kingdom. With each discovery, Taran's determination grew, and he was determined to put an end to the Ebon Knight and his wicked plans. Finally, after weeks of searching and gathering information, Taran arrived at the Ebon Knight's castle. He had come to confront the Ebon Knight and put an end to his reign of terror. He was met with an army of the Ebon Knight's followers, but Taran was not deterred. He drew his sword and charged into battle, facing off against the Ebon Knight's minions. He fought bravely, slashing and hacking his way through the enemy forces. Along the way, he would face off against horrific monsters, powerful sorcerers, and strange creatures, all while uncovering the secrets of the Ebon Knight and his origins. After a long and grueling battle, Taran emerged victorious, and the Ebon Knight's followers scattered in defeat. Now that the minions were defeated, Taran had to face the Ebon Knight himself. He steeled himself for the confrontation, knowing that this would be his greatest challenge yet. He stepped forward, ready to face the Ebon Knight and put an end to his reign of terror. The Ebon Knight stood before him, a menacing figure cloaked in darkness. He was powerful, and Taran could feel the strength of his dark magic. But Taran was not afraid. He charged forward, sword in hand, and the two warriors clashed in a fierce battle. Taran fought with all his might, but the Ebon Knight was too strong. He was about to deliver a fatal blow when suddenly a bright light appeared from nowhere, engulfing the Ebon Knight in its glow. The fate of the kingdom of Nerith now lays in the hands of Taran. The light was so bright that Taran had to shield his eyes. When he opened them again, the Ebon Knight was gone. In his place was a young man no older than Taran himself. He was the source of the darkness and the one responsible for the terror in the kingdom. Taran realized that this young man had been corrupted by dark magic, and he was determined to save him. He spoke softly to the young man, telling him that he could be saved, that he could be free from the darkness. After a long struggle, the young man finally accepted Taran's offer and was freed from the darkness. With the Ebon Knight gone, the kingdom was saved and the people were free from fear. Taran was hailed as a hero, and his bravery was celebrated throughout the kingdom. They had faced the darkness and emerged victorious. Will he be able to overcome the darkness and restore peace to the kingdom? The novel The kingdom restored. Taran was determined to restore the kingdom to its former glory. He set about rebuilding the towns and villages that had been destroyed by the Ebon Knight's dark magic, to restore the people's faith in their leaders, and to bring a sense of security back to the kingdom. The people of the kingdom were grateful for Taran's actions, and they worked together to rebuild their homes and lives. With Taran's help, the kingdom flourished once again. Soon the kingdom was back to its former glory, and the people were free to live their lives in peace and harmony. Taran had saved the kingdom from the darkness, and he was celebrated as a hero. They had faced the Ebon Knight and triumphed, restoring peace and prosperity to the kingdom. The people of the kingdom thanked him for his courage and bravery, and they honored him with a grand celebration. The kingdom was restored, and the people of the kingdom were happy once again.